Hey guys, how's it going? It is, I was going to say Friday, Sunday, February 21st, 2021. And I'm going to try something a little different. Just try a different format here. Uh, just because, I'm thinking it's much easier for me to just go live stream, be lazy, try to give you as much content as I possibly can, and, maybe do a little bit of interaction at the same time. So, I changed the screen, or I put the screenshot in as far as what happened this weekend. I'll show you the videos in a moment here, but we'll start with the screenshots. Unfortunately, I didn't get. Trying to remember where we were here. Give me a second here. No, that wasn't. This was from a prior weekend. Okay, so this was the first train earlier today at 4:21. Um, so we got him uh, just outside of Niagara Falls. Or wait a minute, this wasn't the first train. Did I even bother taking pictures of the CP train? That isn't the CP train. I didn't take any pictures of it. Anyways, there's a CP train. I'll show you that in a minute. It wasn't that big, wasn't that spectacular, so maybe that's why I didn't bother doing a screenshot with it. So I did do screenshots with this one with 8823 leading, and but this had a little bit of surprise midway through because all of a sudden I saw something blue coming my way, and yep, 8952 decided to make appearance. So I was like, okay, cool. I did get. I guess that was the first train. No, that wasn't the first train. That was the second train. This is the third train. We caught our first train when we heard something was coming through this morning. A CP was heading northbound, so we decided to head out to Fenwick, and we caught a CP train. It was just a little shorty, kind of similar to this one, although this one was actually longer, believe it or not. But got a manifest of that one. Then over at Southern Yard was kind of interesting. So this is kind of like an engine graveyard. There's a place called Martech that has been dismantling all these engines. Now, I'm not exactly too sure what's happening. A couple things a lot. I wasn't exactly too sure what was happening. This is the CP switcher that's sat all the way down here, that just sitting on the main line. I got a funny feeling he could not get the electric lock to work. And there's not too much room in here. I think he could. I don't know if he could have. If the other electric rock, maybe both of them are not working. I have no idea. But he wound up backing up and going all the way around the Y at Robbins. And yeah, I don't know what happened. So we left. We left for a break. Uh, go back, spend some time on the computer watching some of the videos and whatever. But I got some interesting screenshot, and this was all video. This was an interesting unit. This looks kind of fairly new. I don't know if they're because he was in front of some tank cars, and I was like, I don't know what the heck that's all about. If that's an engine JLCX 3502, I have no idea. That could be going over to Martech, or could be going over to like I don't. I have no idea. He looks in pretty good shape to me, but then again, some of the CN units look in pretty good shape either. BC Rail's a little bit weathered, but this is Southern Yard. In case you were wondering what this is all about, this is usually the transfer they do between Martech, the two industries that run off uh, the old connecting track to the queso here, or the old queso. Um, you have Martech and oh, what is it? Must be late at night, and more. My brain's going through that again. The I was going to say well and pipe. I guess, yeah, I got well and pipe, well and tubing. Yeah, it's well and pipe. So, yeah, well and pipe runs their industry as well off here. They got the the biggest of the other of the industry. So, but yeah, this was nice to see at night. That engine that I saw earlier today in the first trick going over in the twilight of the evening. Uh, got some nice shots of him heading over to the international border. So that was nice. And then NX was coming along here. I was trying to get screenshots of EOT, and I got a few of them enough, but that was cool. But anyways, I'll take you through the videos and just take a look, see if you guys have any comments or whatsoever. Hey, Quincy. I spy SD60Fs. I thought most of those were scrapped. Yeah, those are getting scrapped. All of those are getting scrapped. I'll show you through the videos of that. I'll take you through all the videos. I think I like doing the high definition video because I do have the 2.7K, but it's I trying to keep up with all the videos and trying to process it. It's just too much. So I just find it's easier to go this route for me, anyways. So let me go with bloop, bloop, bloop. Yeah, we'll go with drone images. And I'll start off with the videos that I took this weekend, and we'll see what we got here. 172, I think it was. No, that's February 4th. So I hadn't really. It's been a while since I've done any drone images. So, but yeah, this was the first one. Look how short these CP trains are. This is out at station name sign Boyle, which is right there. I should have beautiful sunlight. I should have just instead of a head-on shot. That was kind of stupid, but it is what it is. I'm probably going live stream. It's not getting the best quality because it's it is what it is. I'm gonna watch this back later and see what happened. But this was the surprise of the day. I did not expect to see this. This is uh, just on the outside of Niagara Falls, um, Queen Elizabeth Way Highway. There, it's within Niagara Falls, I should say. Getting outside on the Stanford sub as it's heading towards Port Robinson. We were going to catch it at Port Robinson. We weren't too sure where he was, so we were watching the ATCS, trying to figure out whereabouts he was, but that was nice. And just as he was passing, he gave me, you're not supposed to honk in the city, but he gave me a nice long honk there. These guys see my little red car, they see the drone, they're just, they're pretty used to me. In fact, tonight it was kind of weird. We were getting set up for the, like here I was with my son, and I get him till 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Sundays, and then had my buddy Paul Duncan, host of the Niagara Rails website. He doesn't get to go out rail fanning that much. He only goes out with me, so I take him out. He doesn't get out that much these days. He's not that mobile, and we headed over to, like a lot of times on a Sunday night we'll head out, and we headed down to catch this guy gets broken up 421, and then he gets broken up into the local stuff and what goes over into what heads over to CSX, what heads over to what is it, South Buffalo. Those gray tanks, those are all oxychemical tanks there. That's with loads coming in, and then you've got the plastic pellets will go out in the hoppers. So occasionally you'll see some empty oxy poppers that come in here. That might be some. Hard to say. Yep. I think it was, anyways. Then again, I can't tell because this thing it's kind of weird with the it's I mean it's running at 2.7K, but to get the when you get a certain brightness, try to get it to focus on the letters, especially when it's moving, it doesn't focus as crisp as I'd like it. But the background image is really crisp. But the motion, it's not as crisp as that. I've got to get myself something so I can read the chat while I go through this with you guys. That way we can shoot the shit and watch watch the videos and a lot of this you'll see again on the train that was headed out at Fort Erie. There was a lot more. I wish I was able to get on drone. I normally the only reason why I take imagery with is because I enjoy to fly the drones. So before that, I'm not the type of person that would get the tripod out and get a nice fancy camera and just take images. Here comes the intermodal block now, and this you saw on the head end of the train at Fort Erie, going to CSX. I like the graffiti on that last car. I noticed that going through. I was like, what the heck is that? Some reading. There was some reading Northern cars too on this train. I don't know if they've already passed or not. I may not have been paying attention to them, but yeah. As soon as I saw the blue, I knew. I was like, okay, this is something special. So it was nice to see. Figure it's better to show the stills because once this thing starts going, it's thinking about getting a like I don't know if I do it this way or doing it in this format or whatever. Problem is with the way my monitor is set up is you're seeing what I'm seeing. Um, I do have a laptop. Of course, it's in my car right now because that was just my mobile setup, and I really need to clean up down here in order to have room to get the computer and keep bringing it in and out all the time. But I can certainly log into the chat. Maybe do it that way. But I don't get that much chat, to be honest. I'll chat with you in a minute, Quincy. I can't even see what if you're chatting with me. I can't see what you're chatting or anybody else for that matter. But we'll shoot some shit. Yeah, that's an interesting car. That's going to CP. Those cars go to Port Maitland. Those black and white cars. And that was just a dead shot that I didn't do with the gates up, and he was coming, and I shot too soon. I was just like, okay, he's not quite there yet. I was looking at the ATCS, and I was just like, ah, damn, took it way too soon because this guy was going a lot slower than I expected. In fact, I want to speed this up. This is a little too much. I mean, it's a nice shot and all. Man, this guy was slow. For 2 minutes and 30 seconds, it's just like, oh, it's killing me. And I don't. And normally they don't need to be that small, slow going through here. Good thing it's a short train. Jeez. I was gonna get Clifton slow enough. That's like 15 miles an hour. I don't know what if they had a speed restriction on this day or what. They normally don't run this slow. Just a bunch of nothing, nothing much spectacular. I'll get you through. If I'm skipping something you like, I apologize, but let's go to the next. So this is that's a signal at Netherby. This is an old diamond. I was flying out here, and then I decided, I don't need to take that shot. It was a beautiful day, but I was gonna try to fly from down there, but they kind of didn't want me around. They didn't seem like they were in the mood, even though there was CP. So I got a little closer. Got a little closer, took it again. Mind you, by the time I didn't get every single one of these units. This is a regular feature. Over here is the Welland Ship Canal. All these towers here are to go over it. So I've had tunnel shots. This basically goes north south through Niagara here. But this is some of the heat going. There's those black and white tanks I was telling you about. So they go back and forth to Port Maitland. So CN interchanges with them, and so I guess he was just. I don't know if he was bringing in the empty center beam in the cars or what exactly. I don't think he ever got. I think that was his pickup from CN. And that one, that was the weird one. I have no idea. I don't think they're scrapping this thing. Something tells me somebody's using it. Sorry, I had to go back and see that. See all the footprints in the snow? Nice looking engine. That looks way too recently painted. I could be wrong. Solar farm over on the upper left there. So you got the blue CN units. Of course, they rip out all the good shit. BC Rails, which CN owns all those, so. Sad, a lot of cool looking engines, but that's the way things go. Yeah, I thought they were all 2400 series for the most part. Yeah, I couldn't fly any further down because I was at the range I would have liked to, but that's okay. Anyways, I didn't get too much else here. Oh yeah, I did get some side views here. Tried my best to get a shot from the left-hand side, but just a beautiful day today too. Wasn't too bad yesterday either. It was a little colder, so I didn't take the drone with me, but I probably could have got away with it. And I went out to Ingersoll along the Dundas sub, and we caught probably a good eight or nine trains. So it was nice. Just a few more overhead shots. Didn't I already do that? I thought I did. Oh, okay. Oh, I was trying to get the dark side. Anyways, and so the mid trains They break up the engines. And I take it they wanted to lead with this one today. So I was like, I was more than happy to see that. So I was like, cool. I was hoping they had the full headlights on, but that's a beautiful looking unit. Used to see Grand Trunk units go through all the time down here. It was a just as much of a fixture in Niagara to see a Grand Trunk unit as part of CN. And I love taking video at this time of night with the drone. It is awesome. It got too dark by the time, well, NS wasn't doing anything anyways, but I did get to see the second trick of CN pass by Glen Ridge area. This was an actual pretty short train to CSX. Now, mind you, he had already dropped his NS stuff both in the yard off of the service track that he's coming from, but also track 99 there, which is where these hoppers were. Because when we got here, he was sitting over here. He jumped off to the main, came back. Got to meet a couple people from the RCMP. It's great. I got his card too. It was really cool. They're very nice. They're having a joint operation with I believe, I don't know if it would be with the U.S. Customs on the other side. So yeah, very once they were very one, they wanted to make sure we're rail fans and we're not up to anything, and they were very nice. I got the one gentleman's card. Nice to have too when you're a rail fan and you're able to get a card from somebody that you've spoke to who can collaborate who you are, and uh, you know legitimate, and of course they're looking for any tips. So if they see anybody, now watch NS, you'll see around the corner, which I should, probably saw it on the screenshots. I thought this was cool. Him catching up in the, like, that was just awesome. So I enjoyed that. And I thought he was going to pull in to pick up the engine, and then he just went back into the yard. So, but then he actually just sat there and he was just sitting there. I think he went for supper or whatever. I guess they had to do the paperwork or whatever. I don't know, but he was there for a few hours tonight. I know that. He didn't get too much further. I should have took the drone and got a little closer, and he's just waiting for the signal. He actually ended up pulling back here, but I was hoping he was going to go a little bit closer, and then stupid me never decided to fly the drone. I just decided to stop recording. So I have no idea the unit numbers, but probably SD40-2. I can't tell for sure. But anyways, that would be it. Well, that was another dark shot back in my anyways, that's about it from my adventures for tonight. Simple tablet would do you fine. Yeah, I know. I got enough. I got enough toys on my list. I wouldn't mind an audio recorder, digital audio recorder first. I know I could use a cell phone, but I don't want a smartphone, or I don't know if I really want a tablet either. I could get one, I suppose. But so yeah, that's the all those ones at Martech. They're all being scrapped. Fun stuff. Oh man, that was a pretty good night. So yeah. Anyways, what's new and exciting? Not too much. I just keep on playing. I keep on playing. Whatchamacallit? What's the what's the flavor of the month right now? Well, actually, it's probably it's going to last a lot more than that because it's been pretty good. Is ay 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 Lumberjack Dynasty. Now that's a fun one. Um, so I've had a lot of fun of that. That is that is probably taking me out of the focus actually of doing any major worrying about programming or anything at this point. BC rail units showing up on CSX trains. Huh. As far as I know, they're being scrapped because as I heard about this tonight. I didn't know about this, but Paul was telling me over at Martech there's a place where they're all sitting in a line somewhere, and it just they're being scrapped. As far as I know, they're being scrapped. Um, at least from the condition that I saw the engines when they first were coming in, a lot of the lighting and all that other stuff were pulled out of them. Um, I don't know whatever. It seemed like a lot of the electronics and the stuff were as they were being transported were pulled out of them. So some of the lights, out of the number boards, everything uh, was taken out as spare parts or whatever ahead of time before it was heading into the scrap or the funeral train or whatever they call it. But as far as I know, yeah, they're going to be done or they're in the process of being done. So, but yeah, I was saying, yeah, the it's kind of weird. I've been getting away from not worrying too much about like enjoying the trains that I enjoy, being the real ones. Um, as far as let me hold on a second. I'm just gonna get a drink because my voice is getting crackly. Shoot some shit before past my bedtime, but what else is new? I had plenty of sleep this. That's what happens. I fall asleep during live streams on Friday night. I'm wide awake right now, so that's the first time I actually, if you guys were around Friday night while I was doing Lumberjack Dynasty, uh, that was actually. I'm gonna take all this water. Hold on a minute. You're right there. Oh God. Almost over. Listen all night. That's okay. Yeah, I got so much to do. So yeah, the other night, Friday night, Lumberjack Dynasty. I'm beat. The way my it's kind of weird because I sleep good, but I don't give myself enough chance to sleep, and I tend to I tend to if I try to go to bed too early, I end up waking up too early, and then I just don't sleep as much during the week. So it's just the way it is. But it used to be a lot worse. At least I get plenty of sleep. But by the time Friday comes around, Thursday, Friday comes around, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna start dozing out. Now, mind you, I do that on Tuesday nights too. If I'm relaxed and I'm not in control, or if I'm not playing the game, or if I'm too relaxed, like some of those games aren't as they can get repetitive and they can get a little um not mundane. I don't know what the word is. It just this basically sort of grind games, and depending upon if it's a repetitive task that you have to go through just to get to the next levels and build up things, etc., etc. Sometimes it gets boring. I'll be the first one to admit it, but I still enjoy it. I still like going through it, and I know not everybody does. Everybody wants to have action, 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 action. They don't want it to feel like real life, and there's been times where certain things, like including whether it be Run 8 or other things, have felt too much like a job. It doesn't feel like a job to me. There's a difference there. It actually doesn't feel like a job. It feels relaxing, and sometimes it's too relaxing. And yeah, it's one of those things where I was like, my son, he'll take over, or he'll be down. He has permission to use my save and progress it, because I want him to be able to progress the game along just like I do. And you know, if we miss good spots or whatever, he'll let me know and he'll show me. It's not like you miss something and you won't see it again. You'll see it. You'll see what's happening, or what what you might have missed, or a new piece of equipment you got, or something like that. It's kind of like Farm Simulator, except it's a lot more fun, I think. Um, so it's pretty cool. But no, I was just tired, and I was just like, "Here, you want to take over for a bit?" And I knew right then and there. It's just like I might start dozing off, and I knew it. And I thought, I could end the stream. I thought, nah, I'll just keep the stream going. Who cares? And so I did, and I ended up watching the end of that stream. I don't normally watch the streams, but I ended up watching the end of my own stream because I was sleeping. And he did a pretty good job. I gotta hand it to him. He did a pretty good job taking over for me. So he knows what he's doing. But it's a fun game, and that's And I was getting to this, and I think the last time Quincy, you and I were on, I think it was the last time you and I were chatting, but I had to cut it short because my son was coming downstairs, and my ex was too. And I was just like, okay, well, if my son's coming down, it's one thing, but then having my ex down here, I thought that would kind of weird. So I just cut it. I just decided, I'm going to cut the stream, because she was helping out with something or whatever. Like, okay, I better cut the stream. So, but anyways, at the time, what I was talking about was some of the things that were going on with. Now, I know I have time to talk about this now, so I might as well talk about it. I think I talked about it a little bit more. Um, as far as train sim, the I'm still have a habit of going on. So does Scott. Scott's the same way. We were talking about this a little bit, or chatting a little bit, email back and forth. It is a habit of ours to, especially if I'm at work or in the morning. Sometimes in the morning, my ritual, I have a little bit of time to check on YouTube, or check a forum, or check my email and all of this stuff. One of the things I will often check at least once a day, not so much on weekends. Actually, on weekends, I don't even touch it. But during the week, I always have that open time where it's just like, okay, I've checked my email, I've looked on YouTube, or I've done whatever else. I type in www.trainsim.com, and I always go there. And the fact of the matter is, there's no doubt about it. I obviously trigger a lot of people. And I don't try to trigger people, but I seem to. Words like explosions. Somebody was posted today on Train Sim something about their trains disappearing. And I was gonna reply to it. Do you mean it exploded? I was just gonna bring it because if I started mentioning that again, holy crap! I couldn't believe uh, how much crap that I got into. Still being a beta team member, just mentioning the word, you mean the train's exploding and all this other stuff. And it wasn't derogatory. It was the train exploded. Okay. And yeah, it was aggravating, but then I found ways to get around it. And the whole thing was I put a video to get around the damn thing. It was just like, oh well, that wasn't good enough because I was making the product look bad or something like that. Whatever. I'm not the public publicity department for the product. I'm not supposed to be representing Run 8. I'm a beta team member. So, but I guess that was somehow I was the image of Run 8 or whatever. And that was then, this is now. We waited around a few years. It ain't, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Great. Version 3 comes around, it looks good, maybe I'll get it. Whatever. And I know I still talk about this, but the thing is, here's the thing. What was going on with Train Sim? I realized, you know, I got into some discussions with some people, and I thought, let me just try to help them. Let me just try to be part of the community still, and let me honestly help them. And it was a good conversation. It was a great conversation. I was helping. Somebody wanted to talk about operations, so I had the expertise in it. So I offered my advice, and they seemed thankful, and everything was cool. And then somewhere in the conversation, it was mentioned um, the magic trigger word about, well, this is, and I said, well, this is why I like to go with smaller regions. And Jason came on. Jason and I've never had any issues with Jason. And so he never got on to give advice to this other guy who's looking for ways of figuring out how to do operations. He didn't, he didn't want to talk about that. Hasn't really been on for a while. I know he's busy. He's doing trucking and all that other stuff. But for me, he had to reply to me specifically, and it was something along the lines of overthinking things or making or overdoing it, or I don't know what it was. There was overthinking, and then somebody else had to jump in on the bandwagon about overthinking. So that rubbed me the wrong way. And my weakness is I take things personally, number one. And I'm not the only one that takes things personally. I know some people in Run 8, right around the top of the food chain, that take things personally. So that's okay. I take things personally too. It's not a big deal. If it's a weakness, hey, we're not perfect, so I take things personally. I certainly overreact because of this sometimes, and this was an overreaction, and I admit it. And once I realized it was an overreaction, that's when I basically tried to delete my message. I couldn't. And it wasn't one of these things, oh my God, I said something bad on Twitter and I got to delete it now. It was like, I didn't care. People saw it. I even went so far as to put the whole thing on YouTube, and I never took it down. I don't care. It's nothing that is something that was going to, it might have made me look bad. Oh well, whatever. It is what it is. And I went to Dale and I said to Dale, do me a favor, the last two posts that I posted. I don't want to cause any more problems with the thread. I was only trying to help. Just delete my last two messages. Let them talk about whatever the hell they want to talk about. Well, I don't know what happened to that thread, but eventually, first I saw my two messages got deleted. Dale posted a message, deleted at the poster's request, which was me, and then suddenly the thread was gone. I'm like, okay. I don't know what happened to the thread, but I don't give a rat's ass. It was not my intention to destroy a thread or get another thread locked or any of the other horse shit. He had stuff that he was trying to do some stuff, and I was trying to help him out. Ended up turning into a pissing contest, but hey, what else is new? And like I said, maybe I was the one who overreacted. Whatever. I've apologized. I've apologized to server operators. I've taken the high road before. So just because I'm taking the high road or being the better man or whatever the hell you want to call it, it is what it is. You know, it seems like I'm the one always taking the higher road, but whatever. Don't give a shit. So it is what it is. Sorry, Quincy, I know you're chatting with me. Man, I gotta read all that. Hey, let's see here. I think they would have been fine hearing one blow up, but seven in one session. Yes, they were quite mad at me. I don't know. Of course, anytime I'm spotted. It's not so much that I'm spotted. It's any time they see me and I say one magic word or if I try to talk about anything. Smaller regions is something that they said they were going to do. It wasn't that it was it wasn't feasible or some horse shit like that. That's just like it was like, okay, here, this is a he said I said thing. Okay, I'm pretty sure there is a point where John was on the record. I can't prove it. It's my memory. It's my word against his word. But and I didn't want to get to him on a forum. I am certainly willing to go on this live stream right now, and I'm going to say, for the record, according to my recollection, bleh, and memory, John was open to having the editors available. To make the editors available. This was a discussion that he mentioned on a forum. This wasn't anything, behind the scenes or any crap like that. That he was willing to do this. I thought I saw that on a forum. It certainly wasn't, non-disclosure shit or anything that was being discussed or anything like this. This was a public forum that was out there. Can I find that? No, and nor am I trying to find it. I don't care. He denies it. Whatever. What you cannot deny is that there was something called a software development kit. That's undeniable. So saying you're against editors, but whatever the hell the software development kit was, I guess, you know, maybe he was against it and Brad wasn't. I don't know. Whatever. Eventually, it ain't happening. So, okay, fine. But I can tell you right now, a few years ago, they said smaller regions were coming. Brad said that. That I can remember. So, okay, if smaller regions are coming, well, I guess they're either coming at the end of version 2, or maybe they're coming in version 3, or maybe they're coming never. My money's on the latter. That's what I think. And Jason, he can talk about logistics and all this other crap. Hey, get it. I get it. They want to have a system that's more thorough and whatever. I also get it that smaller regions are not as profitable. They're not going to they're not going to gain as much interest. I get it. I'm the minority here. People like me, I think, are the minorities, but there's also people I think there's I believe there's a potential out there for a market within the niche of the niche. I think. I think there's a market out there for people who want more manageable regions. They're more into multiplayer. That's the thing, and they want regions that are good for multiplayer. They always have been, and they've been straight up honest about that. They've always been about multiplayer. That is the biggest thing for them. They're more about multiplayer than single player. Now, have they done things to help the single player? Absolutely. Have they done things to help guys like me? Absolutely. You know, like more start points and all that other stuff, and making it so that I can use something like RTS. I mean, yeah, fine. But, you know, it is what it is. Uh, honestly, yeah. Yeah, during the whole freaking post, nothing bad was said until Jason popped off, and then the rest joined in. No, yeah, and everything was fine. Everything was cordialer, and then, like I said, Jason popped off, and I don't know, did I overreact? I don't know if you saw the replies, but I don't know. Maybe I overreact. Maybe I'm being too hard on myself. I don't know. Or maybe I'm being honest. I don't know. But I felt like I didn't want to deal with the bullshit. I'm tired of the bullshit. I got better things to do. I don't go to bed at night thinking about Run 8. I know it seems that way sometimes when I talk about it on friggin' live streams. Um, but it just seems like this stuff always comes up, and man, it is what it is. It's like you know, you try, you think, okay, you got this knowledge, you want the product to do good, you want to see people continue to enjoy the product and not get tired of it, so you try to help them out, and it's like, well, they're not helping them out. They just want to come over there and start pointing fingers at you. Oh, you said this and that. Oh, you overthink things or whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. Oh my god. I had to deal with a bunch of little twerps who decided to post videos about me on YouTube. I'm like, okay, well, I dealt with those little twerps, and then eventually I just decided to ignore them because dealing with a bunch of trolls is, it's not worth it. And being triggered is not worth it either. I just find it comical right now. It's just, you know, as much as, like I said, as much as I'm talking about it right now, I'm talking about this for comic release. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I like my drone stuff, flying my drone, doing the stuff I did all week. And you think I give a rat's ass about Run 8 at all this weekend? No. I'm just talking about it now because, hey, we talked about it last time, and I thought that's a good topic. It's always a good topic to kick about, it seems. But I like to stop talking about it. So I guess I gotta stop trying to help people and try to avoid that freaking forum. Easier said than done. It's a hard habit to break because it was part of me. And it's not because, oh, I miss it or anything. No, I don't. Although my my son tonight, he goes to me. He says, "You know what?" Because he saw the NS train that was coming around the corner, and in the video, he saw the NS. This was just before 11 o'clock tonight, and he saw the NS engines that were coming around the corner that I took because he was at home, and this was the first time he saw that video because he wanted to see the GT unit that we saw earlier in the day up front, and he saw the NS and he thought, "Oh, this was really cool, right?" He says, "You know what we should, Dad? We you know what we should do for fun? We should play multiplayer together." And I said, "What the hell are we gonna play multiplayer with?" I said, and he didn't have an answer to that. I says, what do you want me to do? Get my rail driver and plug it back in, and we're gonna play Run 8? Like what? We wanted to do multiplayer together. I thought to myself, you gotta be kidding. I got honestly, I tried to get this kid to play multiplayer with me for the longest time, and he was so bored of Run 8. Um, he just didn't find a purpose in it. Like I always found the purpose. Now he's into the logistics now, so maybe he's starting to see the potential of it. I don't know. He loves trains. Um, but he likes creating his routes and all that other stuff. I was like, you want to do multiplayer now? You want to do multiplayer? But he used to like it when we were younger, but or when he was young. Yeah, when we were younger. Yeah. Um, I couldn't believe he said that. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man! Don't do this to me. This is a play. I said, screw that. I says, let's. I says, let's. Yeah. I said, I don't want to do that. This is just do. He says, yeah. Well, he says, well, there's no. He says the trick is finding something that's good at multiplayer. I says, there's nothing good at multiplayer. I says, I says the only thing that's good at multiplayer is Run 8. I says they're really good at it. I says that's not the point. I says you want to play multiplayer and just run trains around for the fun of it? I mean, there's a lot of servers out there for that if you want. He says I'm not buying your Run 8. I said I don't know if I can transfer you my copy. Like I'm not saying he wanted Run 8. He wasn't saying that, but he just kind of out of out of the blue, all of a sudden he was saying that. I'm like, maybe he was talking about doing it in trains. He didn't really specify. Because there is multiplayer for trains. Maybe that's what he was talking about. He didn't specify. I don't know what the hell he was talking about. I'll have to grill him a little bit more on that. Maybe he was talking about trains multiplayer. Because trains has it, and Open Rails has it too, and a bunch of others that have it. I don't even consider trains multiplayer a thing. Um, and the other ones, I Open Rails. I don't know how well they do it. I don't care because I know Run 8 does it the best. So that's the potential. That's the potential they had. That is slowly going. But I'm just a bitcher. Or a bitching old man, grumpy old man, or whatever. But what else we got here? It wasn't a figment of my imagination? No, no, of course not. Because that's all you have to do is go to, like I did the other day. I just went through the Wayback Machine, and it's there. I wish posts were on the way. I guess posts are on the Wayback Machine if you really wanted to drill. Nah, posts aren't on the Wayback Machine. They don't run. They don't have their own web links to them. They're dynamic, but Figment Imagination, it was out there because it was not how they get assets to build Selkirk and the rest of them. Yeah. Yeah, those third party repaints and stuff like that. I I don't get that whole third party thing or the repaints that were showing up because I don't understand. The guys that were doing the repaints made it sound as if they talked to Run 8 and that everything was hunky dory. But yet Run 8 then locked the code down big time by version 2. Locked it down so much that it actually affected RTS, although it didn't really matter at that point because I really had lost all interest in even coding RTS. Because version 2 was what it was and I just wanted to run and that was it. It had enough in it that it wasn't worth me going in and coding it. Even though a few people asked about it, wanted to see it, I just didn't want to. It wasn't worth the time to do it. And it is, and to me, the peak of Run 8 for me, I know the peak for many is back in the version 1 days. When the beginning of RTS, a lot of people say that about it. For me, it wasn't. It was a great time, don't get me wrong, and I had fun developing the software. Um, but for me, the peak was version 2, the Southwest server. And when we had that thing running, and we had enough dispatchers, we had enough crews. It wasn't into LA, it wasn't into Bakersfield, it was or Bakersfield sub. It barely was touching all corners of. I don't even know if Bakersfield had expanded at that point yet, and it certainly wasn't in Seligman. So it was at its capacity at that point, but we had enough people we could do it. And it was cool. And it will never be like that again unless there's a major change. And I don't think it's in their interest to have that major change because nobody ran that way. Nobody ran as well as this. You can throw off all the fancy stats you want about how well your server's doing, and how many cars you've moved, and all this other horse shit. It means nothing. I mean, those are great stats and all. It's like, oh yeah, we moved more this year, and multiplayer's not dead, or somebody was talking about multiplayer's not dead because this is showing it. Okay, well, number one, you're in the middle of a pandemic for 2020, and your numbers slightly went up. Whoopie doo. How many people are home playing? Check, compare that to the stats of what online games are doing right now, and sales in some of those key industries, and I guarantee you it wasn't a 10 or 15% increase in comparison. But I didn't want to say that. I'm just saying it now because, yeah, to say that was to say that's evidence that multiplayer is not dead and because it's on one server, that whereas a second server they bitch and whine because as soon as you add another server up, people bitch and whine, oh yeah, you've forgotten about our server. You've added a region, and this region's been forgotten about, and it's being neglected, and all this other crap, or whatever else. Yeah. And this is coming from. And here it is. You were talking about the top two servers out there. The only two, really as much as I love the guys at the Southwest, it was already, it's not their fault, but they can't keep up with that. The Southwest was becoming It was just a run on constant trying to keep up. And I'm not. You guys want to go to a server and have some fun with some guys? Go to the Southwest server. I don't know if the Southeast server is still out there. I can't even find a link to it anymore. But and that was, if anything, that was probably the closest potential. And Smiley had a server in the Northeast. Nobody ran it. He ran it all the time. I think he finally got sick of it and put it down. It's tough when you're running a server and nobody's coming on. But that's just the way it is. I've been there. Um, it is what it is. Wow, it's 12:07. Getting way past my bedtime. I'm having fun. Uh, it's nice to reminisce about the good old days. But I mean, the only thing I was thinking of tonight was, could I get home? Well, while I was waiting for that stupid train to show up, it was sitting in there for a good hour. Or a signal popped up on my ATCS, and Paul and I were just sitting shooting the shit, watching videos on his phone, and it's half an hour goes by, and he has a signal out of Port Robinson. I'm thinking to myself, what the hell did they give him a signal? Like he hadn't even. I don't even know if they requested it or whatever. The guy, I think was going on duty at 9 o'clock. So it was like 8:30, and they're giving the guys a clear signal. I'm like, okay, because I thought he was coming out right away, and I was like, oh wow, let's get down there, right? So we just sat around. But I'm thinking to myself in the back of my mind, the only thing I wanted to do is get home and play the Lumberjack Dynasty. Never got around to that tonight because ran out of time, and then decided I was going to show Emmett. I figured I didn't have much time, and then I was going to play it this last hour. I figured I'd be nice and do a live stream. Lumberjack Dynasties for tomorrow, though. And no, I'm not live streaming it. I won't. I won't be live streaming Lumberjack Dynasty in the foreseeable future until I know it's something that people want to see. And personally, I don't think it is. Um, Obviously, they want to see. They would love to see me run 8 again. I've had several requests at that, and that's why I talk about it sometimes, because it's just like, yeah. But I don't think that's happening. I really don't feel like putting that rail driver. I really don't feel like hooking up that rail driver. It sat here for the longest time dormant, and I just finally, I think a couple months ago, I don't know if it was right around the new year or something like that, I finally pulled that damn thing off so I can have some space to put some of my remote controls, and a place where I can put this nice cup of water. And I got the microphone on another stand to my left, and that was it. But so you think that they released the SDK, but it got out of control quickly, and they pulled it. As far as I recall, and I don't remember for sure, I think I was still a beta team member when the SDK was taken off the sheet. And there was no explanation that I recall. I could be wrong on that one. Mind you, just being a beta team member meant nothing. it's like, okay, I host, I host, and we test shit. I didn't know any trade secrets. I didn't know any things. If something was going on. So there's no hidden sauce, and there's no secrets or anything like that. There's nothing. It's so easy for me to not have to say anything because there's nothing to say. I mean, and that's in all honesty. I mean, there's no secrets. Um, Yeah, I still have Run 8 installed. Some form of the editors was out there. Well, maybe it was. And yeah, because that's interesting you mentioned that because I if some form of editor was actually out there, this is an interesting little conspiracy theory you got going here. And it's not a bad thing because I like conspiracy theories. Um, because a lot of conspiracy theories are conspiracy fact. But yeah, it's kind of interesting that he had a root going or something, or he was doing something. He had a root. He had all kinds of other things, and I'll tell you something. As as much as I got along with him okay, I wasn't a big fan of what he was doing because I thought to myself, okay, this is going to ruin it for everybody. But then, he would say that he had permission to do this and all that, and it was just for himself too because he couldn't distribute it or anything like that, and it didn't matter. It just made. I mean, talk about explosions making it look bad. To me, it made Run 8 look bad because all of a sudden you were seeing something that was, hey, this is what can be done, but only I can do it. It's like, okay. Of course, that only happened with version 1, and then version 2 was locked down. So I don't know what the hell happened there. There's something that happened, but how the hell am I supposed to know? He said he had permission. He always said he had permission. And I never heard Run 8's side of denying it or actually saying that no. What I do know is Run 8 really locked the program down. You weren't able to edit things. So was it that they got into the files? Was it that they got into did maybe somehow I wonder if it got out because I remember something too, and if I'm not mistaken, this had something to do with dams too. If I remember correctly, it had something to do. I don't know if it was, and don't say anything about Ralph because Ralph will sue you. Say anything about dams or Ralph or whatever, he'll sue you. And I used to talk about Ralph all the time, so I haven't talked about Ralph in a long time. But but anyways, if I recall something and it has nothing to do with Ralph, let me protect my ass there. I don't want him coming after me. Um, that was hilarious, by the way. But something, if I recall, there was a whole shimamo or whatever happened. Explode. No, I shouldn't say the word explosion. That'll get me into trouble too. Um, there was a whole blow up between with dams and uh, the Run 8 team, bigger than what anything ever happened with me, from what I can tell. What happens to me is kind of like a cordial. Well, we really don't like you, but yeah, well, whatever. Um, but there's never been this hatred or out and out anger and hostility. I don't think on any sides. I mean, yeah, there's been some burnt feelings. I'm sure. Getting kicked off a Run 8 team or however the hell I offended them or whatever. But something happened, if I recall, where they were going to. I remember them. There was a big boasting that they were going to. That they were going. This is where I think it got out of hand. They were going to go to another they wanted to go to Cross Ties or whatever the hell that stupid simulator, and they wanted to get through to them, and then they went belly up. Was it Cross Ties or whatever the hell it is, or some other simulator was supposed to come, and everybody was all goo goo and gaga because this was going to kick Run 8's ass and all this other stuff, and then it just didn't go anywhere. But then I remember something being said like, "Oh, well then this is going to we're just going to make a better Run 8 in version 1 or something like that, or I don't know." Like I said, I don't know. This is my fragmented brain right now trying to put it together because honestly, all the drama I really couldn't care about it. I thought it was all hilarious, even though, and I'm still totally into Run 8. I'm I have a, how would you say, um a hot cold relationship with a Run 8. I try to be nice with the guys. I try to keep everything cool. Some of the guys I get along with fine to this day. Hi, Mikey. If you're out there, Mikey and I get along fine. I've always supported the Northeast, and he knows it. Jason and I should get along fine, good too, because I've always supported the Southeast, and he knows it. But you know, Dale's not a really no. Dale's not a team member. Dale and I have had an off and on relationship, I think, but we've butted heads with the moderator stuff or the moderation stuff going on. And Scott starts with the sheriff stuff, or the deputy, or I don't know what the hell he calls it, sheriff deputy, something like that. Or then we get into the whole moderation on train sim. I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. Um, but Dale's got a job to do. What else it is, I have no idea. But Dale, yeah, I remember him coming to me one time and he said, "See, you're not the only one." I'm like, "Oh," because he got supposedly knocked off of the Run 8 team too. I'm like, "Oh, okay." I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Um, I've never had a problem with. I I mean, Brad and I have butted heads for some reason or another. I had never really had a problem with Brad, or he had a problem with me for some reason. Um, but John's very well liked and respected by a lot of people. I've never really talked too much. Um, the only time we seemed to butt heads was when he took exception when I would talk about the editors. So I guess I was wrong or something. I don't know. Whatever. The rest of the guys, I don't know. I don't know the rest of the guys. I've some of them I've talked to uh, off and on, but yeah, whatever. I'm more interested in the prod. I'm not interested in them. Put it that way. They can do whatever they want. It's their company. It's their team, and however they want to do things, hey, it's their baby. They can do it however they want, and that's the way it is. And whether people like it, if you don't like it, go build your own simulator. And trust me, I've considered it. A lot easier than said and done. It's not easy what they've achieved, especially if you're only yourself and limited skills. Uh, I'm not going to spend the rest of my life building a simulator that's going to be outdated within 1 year. Stupid. But there is a person on YouTube that streamed Run 8 like you did, and he had shit tons of repaints in those streams. Yeah, well, he was the guy. That guy that was there. The name you're talking about is the guy that was doing it. That said he had permission, if I recall. I'm thinking we're talking about the same guy. I can't even think of his name. That's how much I remember of it. And I'll stick by what it was out is got out of control. So before you pull so before they pulled it and locked down version 2. Yeah. There was a lot of security that went into version 2, but there was also I know there was it seemed like there was definitely a lot of concerns with piracy. I don't know if that was because of version 1 and that was going on, so obviously they want to protect that, and I don't blame them. I'm totally 100%. I mean, don't get me wrong, back in the days when I had a Commodore 64, I played pirated software. Um, but back then it cost you quite a it cost you quite a bit of money just to play one piece of software, so it was kind of ridiculous. The software companies made a killing back then, but mind you, it costs more to make a video game than it does now. Now anybody can make a video game, and so because anybody can make a video game, then the cost goes down. Wow, it's 12:23. What the hell am I still doing up? It's so fun shooting ship. So all that extra hour and a half sleep I just had, that's gonna go all to hell now. Same reason why I will never be editors for Train Sim World. Yeah. Yeah. No, because that's when you get the editors of Train Sim World, you're starting to get you could get there's vulnerabilities when you start doing that, especially with Unreal. Uh-huh. No. I don't know what I'm doing with RTS at this point. I'm gonna get off this run 8 kick for the next 6 minutes. We'll talk a little RTS for a minute before I go to bed. Now I'm starting to wind down. So I'm gonna call it bottom of the hour. I'm gonna call it night. I got about 6 minutes. Um, so as far as the lookout, as far as RTS goes, man, we got a lot of viewers. Who else is on here? Anybody else want to say hi? I don't mind talking to people either. Say hi in the chat. But give me a like too. If you like what you're hearing, give me a like. I got no likes on this video. We got concurrent viewers, so that's pretty cool. Um, but I'm only kidding about the likes. Like what you want to like. Um, but what was that? Yeah, yeah, RTS. Oh yeah, that thing. Um, yeah, it's I wanted to do it a simple way of doing RTS, and I talked about this the other night. Uh, I wanted to do it a real simple way, and then I forgot how much um, Freight Yard Manager was boring as hell unless it was busy. It had to be really busy, as in I used to control Mac Yard. So if I was going to do it, I'd go back to Mac. I'd have to go back to something like Mac Yard because Niagara wasn't going to cut it. Niagara's pretty cool. I mean, there was you saw a little bit of a meet today. It happens in Fort Erie all the time. You got CP going in there. Well, CN is coming around, and so I mean, there's a little bit of activity, but there's not that much. And just running the switching yard at Port Robinson, although better than some of the territories I used to have for Freight Yard Manager, it's just not necessarily what I want to do. And I didn't visualize it, and I talked about this the other night. So the way I'm looking at it right now is I'm looking at a lot of different ways of doing this. And yeah, I've gone out there and made announcements and said that and said what. It don't mean jack shit because nobody's going to believe it until they see it. So whether or not I announce something, I'll probably change the signatures and probably take the 2021 off and who knows, just go back to the standard thing and quit announcing years or trying to like I said, it becomes overconfidence. I really have a lot of ideas. I really want to push them. There's some days I just want to go all in, and which I did, and there's just others I just like no. I got better things to do than to try to develop software. So, did I do something with Mackyard back in Microsoft Train Simulator? Yes. That's because Microsoft Train Simulator had I mean, I never built a route for it, but Microsoft Train Simulator actually had the not the well, they had the Niagara corridor, but they also had the GTA. The GTA included Mackyard. They did not have an operating hump, so but we had trains that ran on the Halton sub and um, forget how the GTA did it. I think the GTA they didn't connect the routes back then. Nothing like what Run 8 does, which is totally awesome in comparison. But and I don't even know if Open Rails does it. So I mean this that's the one advantage that Run 8 is always going to have to me over a Microsoft Train Simulator or Open Rails. I don't even own a copy of Microsoft Train Simulator. I gave it away. I have no intentions of getting another copy. Somebody mentioned about Open Rails. I've basically publicly said to him, you know, if you got something that you want me to help with, put an offer or let me know. Let me know what the hell you have in mind. Just saying that I can do something for Open Rails is great, but I need to know how I fit in. And until I hear, they got to sell me on it. I'm not, because I'm not sold. I'm not looking for the engine. There was a time where I was looking for the engine. Run 8 was the engine for the longest time. I'm not looking for an engine. I'm not looking for that next game. I'm not looking for anything that's going to take me and my ideas. I've had my ideas. I've had my fun. I don't need to do anything else in RTS if I don't want to. And I'll be perfectly happy in life and go on and do other things. But sure, there's an itching because there was so much of that potential that unfortunately never happened. And yeah, I want to do it. But at the same time, do I want to put in all the effort to do it? Do I want to do I want to dedicate that much time? Do I want to stop having fun at doing other video games? Do I want to stop flying drones? No. I'm going to fly drones. I'll fly drones over any of this. I'm not going to stop rail fanning. I'm not going to stop flying drones. Uh, I'm I'm not going to stop playing other games, and I'm not going to stop my job, my real job. So there's only so much time, and that's really where the bottom line comes in. So I can reminisce about the old days and bitch and whine about what trains and the whole thing with trains. I like I gotta stop. I've got to stop. I really want to stop talking about this too, to be quite honest, because I'm so sick of talking about it. It's like train sim. The goofy thing is, um, there's not much else to talk about at this point because you guys don't want to hear about whatever the hell video game I'm playing. I see the views. I know what's going on. Uh, not even what I did tonight, although it was an attempt at it. Um, and this, wow, I just realized this live stream just like totally went off the deep end compared to what I was doing. This is a Railfan recap. Oh shit! And we're an hour and 24 minutes in. Yeah, it's a Railfan recap. No, it's turned into a Railfan recap. Let's shit on Run 8. Uh, What else is new? I had full intentions. I'll blame it on Quincy. It's Quincy's fault. And if Scott was here, it'd be his fault too. I'll blame it on anybody else. I'm not going to blame myself. And, and if they weren't chatting, or I don't know, yeah, I got to blame it on somebody. Hell if they did. Hell, they did. Hell if they did. Go off the rails, it would not be normal. Oh shit, we're past the bottom of the hour. I need some sleep. I'll take the blame. All right, there you go. That's a trooper. Quincy will take the blame. So will Scott. I don't know where Scott is. Scott's probably listening to me in the background, falling asleep on the couch like me. Scott usually listens in on these things. He doesn't chat that often, but he's usually put this on the background. He just he's just stretched out on his rocker or whatever the hell he sits in and recliner, like me. I don't know. Lazy boy. Fold up chair. I have no idea. Man, this has gone off the deep end. Oh shit. I should end this now though. Yeah. Start of another week. Fun job too. Like I said, I enjoy my job. But I do want to be half awake tomorrow. So with that, I think I'll wind down here. Give it a just shy of an hour and a half. That's not too bad. Go get some rest, little guy. Yeah, I don't need it. By the time Thursday, Friday runs around, yeah, then I'll need it. I'll regret it. I'll regret it. I won't regret it tomorrow at work. I'll regret it. I'll regret it Monday when I'm trying to play that damn video game and I'm starting to doze off, or I start losing my energy or whatever. But that's okay. Yeah, 6 hours sleep, 5.5, 6.5. Nah, it'll be 6 hours. I'll be lucky to get 6 hours. That's okay. Oh, there's yeah. I knew Scott was there. I knew Scott was there. Oh shit. God, I gotta go to bed. I need my beauty rest. Oh shit. Help me, Scott. You're my only hope. It's like Obi-Wan. Oh, Jesus. I'm Princess Leia. I'm going to bed. Okay, guys. Well, that was fun. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the videos, which was the purpose of this live stream originally. Um, you know, definitely like doing the Railfan recap if that's something we want to do, and just shoot the shit later and go off the rails. Well, hey, whatever. That's okay. We lose people, we lose people. Uh, that's okay too. Anyways, it was a fun Railfan weekend. I'll do more of these. I'd prefer to do it this way. Maybe I'll do the high def videos. Nobody, if people want to see videos, they gotta let me know they want to see videos, or they want to see this, or they want to see video games, or they want to see whatever the hell they want to see. I don't mind sharing it, but if there's not the interest, then yeah, I'll just come on here and shoot the shit once in a while. But yes, by all means, don't want you to. Yes, by all means, don't want you to look like me. Ah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to look like you. Not right now. Not right now. I still got a little bit of beauty left. Man, am I sound like an asshole. Age before beauty, is that what they say? Oh, shit. I better end this before I get in real trouble now. Anyways, uh, yeah, I got stretch marks, so it's okay. You got wrinkles, I got stretch marks. Uh, God, okay, I gotta end this. Oh, I'll be laughing my ass all the way to bed. Anyways, have a good one, guys. We'll talk to you later. Yeah.